Hey, welcome back, guys. Steve here, V-Twin Racing Channel. I feel like I need to talk to you all about gearing and sprockets today. So I went through quite a little spell trying to get things right on my OG bike here. Thought maybe I'd share some of this information with y'all. Hopefully save you some trouble and some money. Let's see. So to start with, picking the right sprocket sizes is not really an exact science. So we'll give you a few factors on my bike. It's a 1275 with 10 to 1, 10.5 to 1 compression. Andrews N4 cams. And I weigh 200 pounds, okay? So these are the factors that I have to deal with on my particular application, okay? What I had at the end of the season was a 20 tooth front and a 50 tooth rear, okay? So I had a 20 on the front, a 50 on the rear. What I found, I didn't notice it so much in 1/8 mile, but in the 1/4 mile, I was just, and I got my shift light set at 6,500. So what was happening in 4th gear, I was just turning the shift light on in 4th gear right at the finish line or just shy of it. So I wasn't using 5th gear at all now. So what I decided was based on, I don't remember which one of y'all suggested. Was it Mark Laramie? Was it you? Might have been you. Several of you said, go ahead and throw a 53 on it. So that's what I ordered, a 53 tooth rear sprocket from Sprocket Specialists, okay? In case my speech isn't clear enough, that's Sprocket Specialists. Okay, those guys custom build any sprocket for pretty much anything. This is a 50 tooth for an 01 up Sportster hub. Okay, this is the bigger hole, whereas the wheel on my OG bike, it's a 97. So it has the smaller pilot hole. So this one and that one are essentially the same, other than this hole is a little bit bigger on this one. So this one fits in 01 up, and I think, I don't want to say it's 04 or 05, one of them years, I don't know. I know 04 was kind of a bastard year, but one year you had to actually add a spacer, or some kits would dish the back sprocket out or something. I'm not real certain on that, but so I ordered a 53 tooth for my 01 GSXR wheel, and as you guys remember, I couldn't get it to work on this swing arm on this bike. So that sprocket wasn't really a waste of money. I ended up donating it to Walter's Softail project. It fit his wheel perfect. And I had to order another one to fit this 95 GSXR wheel that's on my bike. And so this is the sprocket. This is the 20 tooth front PBI. And by the way, if you guys buy a PBI sprocket, say through Parts Giant or anyone like that, they will give you a chart. Kind of handy after the fact, right? You get a chart with the offsets on the sprockets, and it gives you the PBI part number. So this one here is a PBI 277-20T. That's 20 tooth 277. This is a 1/4 inch offset, 0.250. This came, I didn't buy this. This came with a chain conversion kit that I had originally bought for the bike. And to be honest with y'all, I ended up running it backwards with the sprocket offset towards the engine case, okay? So it was actually it was actually like this on the bike. Okay, this is a 5th gear and an output shaft. So it was actually in this way to line that up with the back wheel. So this will go on the budget build bike because it goes with that back wheel and that other sprocket. Now, going back to what I was saying about my setup lacking a little bit in gearing. So I ordered a 53, and what I found is I bought, because I thought I needed a 1/2 inch offset. This one here is from Sprocket Center. This is their lightweight series. Well, something else I learned. This thickness of this spline right here. Yes, this the 5-speed Big Twins and the Sportster share a spline. What they don't share is the thickness right here, okay? So I'm trying to hold this where you can see it. This thickness right here versus this one. Hope y'all can see the difference. This one is actually a 1/2 inch thick, okay? And that is an XL specific sprocket, excuse me. This one here, on the other hand, is 3/4 of an inch thick in here. This is for a Big Twin, for an Evo or, well, any 5-speed Big Twin. So, it's also a 22 tooth, okay? So, something I learned, rule of thumb, a long time ago, taking 1 tooth away from the front is like adding 3 to the back. Adding 1 tooth to the front is like taking away 3 teeth in the back. So I can't find a 20 tooth sprocket for the front of my XL. The best I could do, this one, I don't know if y'all remember from a previous video, this is a PBI 281-22. So this is a 22 tooth, okay? And it was 3/4 of an inch thick here, but you can see where I had to take it to a machine shop, okay? I had to take it to a machine shop and have this milled, pocket milled out, because when I slid it on the shaft, there was no thread, nothing left hanging out for the nut to get a hold of. So I had to have that machined out, and you can see here, sprocket fits in there, okay? So this is going to work. However, it is a 22 tooth, so this is actually going backwards from what I wanted to accomplish with my gear ratio. This isn't going to work either. Now, $85, and I have right around 110 in this one. Okay, so that's 200 bucks right here. Yes, I could use this, but then I'd have to go to like a 60 tooth rear sprocket. And I don't want to buy another one because I'm still waiting on my rear sprocket from Sprocket Specialist. If I order yet another one, forget the $100 that I'm going to pay for it. It's going to put me behind another month, a month and a half waiting on it. So those guys will build you anything. And I guess I would say the price is reasonable, comparable, whatever. The only problem is they're not in stock. They have templates for all the patterns and stuff, but when you order it, they add you to the list of builds. You know, they build them as they go. So it might be 2 or 3 weeks before they actually machine it. It depends on where I'm at in line. So it's historically always been that way. Even back in the 90s when I was buying sprockets from them, it's still, they're not the fastest bunch, but they do real good work, and they're right when you get them. So, so I ordered another one. Yeah. So I found a 21 tooth Sportster specific 3/4 inch offset sprocket from Vulcan Engineering, based out of, I'm not sure where, New Hampshire, I think. Vulcan engineering, okay? 21 tooth, and what that's gonna do with my 53 is put me right back dead to where I was in the top of 4th gear at the finish line. So, once I add nitrous to this bike, that's gonna be pretty much right where it needs to be. But running it on a motor, I don't know. The stuff can be very frustrating, guys. Basically what I'm saying is, ideal gearing for a 200-pound guy on an XL with a mild built 1275. It's about, if you want to go with the hammer specs, it's about a 100 horsepower engine, okay? 20 tooth front, 53 tooth rear. That's even with like a stock width wheel. Or and another thing that plays in is the overall height of the tire. Now, one thing that may save me, maybe it will, maybe it won't. I think that sport bike wheel overall is a little bit shorter than the stock wheel was, so that might help a little bit. If it's shorter, it's maybe by an inch. Those things are factors, though. So let's see. So went over that. So again, you know, hopefully you guys can take something away from this, get you a ballpark idea. I hate to see, I've probably, let's count the sprocket that I bought for the wheel. Wasn't really a mistake, I would say. It's just that figured out that that wheel just wasn't going to work out on the bike. So you got that $100, you've got 300, you know, I'm 400. You see where this gets out of hand, right? 400 and some dollars deep on sprockets that I literally can't use. So, and then the other $205 is for the ones I'm actually going to use. So 700 and some dollars in this deal, I finally got a pair of sprockets I can use. I hope you all don't have to go through that. I did have to buy a longer chain for it. That's obvious, for obvious reasons, because we stretched the bike out. So I hope this helps you guys out. Obviously, if you're a lot lighter guy or your engine's bone stock, or, you know, vice versa, there's a lot of factors. This, again, there's no guarantees that this combination is going to get you exactly where you want to be, but it's a really decent starting point, and it's probably something that most people can live with. So, you know, unless you're running heads up, trying to set world records in a class that, you know, I mean, it just depends on what you're doing. Because obviously with the wrong gearing, I can still bracket race the bike, no problem. I just, you know, dial it in. Something I learned a long time ago. If it's a 5-speed, I want to be in the top of 5th gear when I cross the finish line. I'm using up everything, using it all. So that's the ideal situation. So until you know that, where you're at with that, but I would say a good solid starting point would be a 20 on the front. And if you've got a wide wheel and you got an offset sprocket, I don't know where you're going to find a 20. You have to go to a 21 and a 53 on the back. Unless you're, you know, like 150 pounds, and then you could probably get away with less gearing. But if you go with a, I always thought it would be cheaper to change front sprockets, but not on these Harleys. On the Jap bikes, yeah, it's, you know, you're talking a $30 sprocket versus a $100 back sprocket. But these boogers ain't 30 bucks, man. They're 75, 85 bucks. And if you get the wrong one, you know, I could probably package that up and send it back, but I don't know about y'all, but that's one of those things I just don't care to deal with. Somewhere down the line, somebody with a big twin may need this. I like to help people out, so I'll end up saying, here you go, to somebody that needs it. But it's not going to work for me. This one, yes, it would. Because I had it modified, I thought that was really the only option I had. But the more I looked around, I found a 21. This is a 22. I would probably have to run an exceptionally larger back sprocket for this to work for me. So I'm going to keep this one because I just paid 28 bucks to have it modified. So I'm going to keep this one around in case, you know, never know if the nitrous gets really out of hand. I might have to put a bigger sprocket on front to calm it down. So, so I'll hang on to this one. That one, I wouldn't consider this one to be a bust. So we'll hang that up here on the wall. Like I said, this guy right here is going to go on the budget build giveaway bike because it goes with that back wheel. So that one's a keeper. This guy right here is a 1/2 inch offset, 22 tooth, but it's a big twin spline thickness. Okay, so if you want to take it to your local shop and have it machined to fit a Sportster at 1/2 inch offset, if that works for you, let me know. I could hook you up. Basically, you got to remember that it's not just the nut. You got to have room for the socket as well. So essentially what you're doing is you're making this a hole. You see these two little holes that bolt the safety ring on there? So you're basically going to machine it out to just over the edge of that hole. It's about 2.5 inch diameter is what that socket is, okay? And then you're going in 1/4 inch deep. So I just had one done local here. They charged me 28 bucks. It was actually it's a local electric motor rebuilding place. So they kind of mess with sprockets all the time. So they threw it in a lathe and took care of it for me. So luckily for me, I've done business with these guys through work. So I knew them and they took care of me. I don't know if you can get it done that cheap or not. However, 85 bucks. You know, if you got an XL, you need a 1/2 inch offset sprocket, holler at your boy. Otherwise, it's going to sit here and collect dust. I don't know what else I could talk about with the rears. I do run 530. Those are what I prefer to run, the 530. This is called the EK drag chain. I've used this on 7-second nitrous bikes, 7-second 1/4 mile nitrous bikes. This is good stuff. Okay, it's either 10.5 or 11,000. I can't remember which. 10.5 or 11,000 PSI tensile strength. I've been running this exact chain. You can buy it from Schnitz Racing. It's pretty reasonable, I think. I got 160, which is definitely more than I need, but I always like to buy them long and then cut it to length. With a clip-on style master link. I don't want to get into that debate. I know a lot of guys don't agree with that, but here it is, schnitzracing.com. EK drag chains, 530 DR2, okay? So on real high horsepower applications, replace this every year. On these mild bracket bikes, I don't know, run it till it starts loosening up real bad and then put another one on. But these, I've never had one of these break on me, okay? So I think I got 160 bucks, 157 total in this one, which is pretty good for quality chain. So, and then, sorry to disappoint you guys, but it is not gold. It is not blingy. It is just standard, regular old chain, but it's very heavy duty 530 chain. It is for racing. So, you guys got any questions? Drop them in the comments. Be more than happy to help in any way I can. Anyway, just to summarize, again, in my opinion, and again, it also depends on what you've done to your engine and how much you weigh. 20 tooth on the front, 53 on the back should be a good starting point. I've had to learn the hard way. I took a swing at it. I went 20-50. I think the chain conversion kit came with a 20 and a 48. I think that was recommended replacement. So I went ahead and just bumped it up a couple teeth just for the hell of it when I ordered the aluminum sprocket, because the original, the original front sprocket was a really heavy steel one. Rotating weight, okay, unsprung weight, rotating weight, 3 times as much as regular weight. Don't want to run big heavy steel sprockets on your wheel. Okay, hope this helps you all out. Thanks for watching. Like I said, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, drop them in the comments, hit that like button, tell your friends. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing, and stay tuned, because we're going to start working on the budget build again here real soon. And again, once we hit 2,000 subscribers, some lucky person's going to win that bike. Thank you. Have a good day.